So I'm going to be hiking the Merrimac segment today. I got the Devil's Lake Bluffs behind me back there, and got about I don't know what it is, a 3.8 mile hike on the trail, and then another couple miles of road walk before we get down to the Merrimac Ferry. We're going to cross Highway 113 now. It's a pretty busy highway, so I got to be careful. We enter the trail right over here. Looks like it could be kind of grassy. I did spray my pants and socks, so hopefully we won't have trouble with ticks, but we'll see what happens here. Grass is mostly this tall stuff hit me in the face. So this trail goes through the Merrimac Preserve, which is kind of a link for wildlife between Devil's Lake State Park and the Wisconsin River, Lake Wisconsin down there. Looks like the thistle's blooming pretty good. I don't know, maybe that's not thistle. Not sure what that is. Well, I guess that flower was New England aster, and there's a lot of it along the trail here. Very pretty flower. I think as soon as I get away from this prairie here and get into the woods, this grass slapping me in the face will be done. Looks like a lot of white flowers up ahead here. Let's take a look at what those are. They're kind of pretty, a lot smaller. Okay, these white flowers are white panicle aster, another type of aster. Very pretty. Let's head into the woods here. Getting kind of dark in the woods here. It is an overcast day in the low 60s temperature. So it's a pleasant hike. There's a stream down there, I guess. Not running really, but nice walk through the woods anyways. Oh, here's the boardwalk over that little stream. I see water down there, but I don't really see it running. I guess it's running real slow. Look at it closer. All right, we're leaving the woods now and heading into the prairie. So I have some more open views here. Looks like there's some, I don't know what that would be, butternut trees in the area. Good for the wildlife. I'm back to getting the slap in the face with the long grass here. That's all right. It's a beautiful day. The trail kind of turned back in the direction I came from, and so you can see some of the bluffs back there again in the distance. I think we crossed DL here, County Road DL, which is one of the roads I took to get to the parking lot with my bike. Yeah, that's DL down there. You can see where the trail picks up on the other side of the road. It goes that way. Kind of dark clouds, but I don't think it's supposed to rain. Guess we'll find out. I got an umbrella if I need it. Looks like the trail goes up a little bit. I think I read that it goes down and then back up onto a plain. And there's a lake down there. Our small lake. I think I read that we descend down and walk along a boardwalk over some sensitive plant areas. Maybe that's it down there. Let's see if that's the only one. That's probably it. Looks like it's back up into the woods here. Kind of a breeze today. Winds are supposed to get up to gusts of 14 to 50 miles an hour, which isn't a problem. Feels good actually. I got some nice oaks growing in this area. On this knob or whatever kind of hill it is. I suppose a lot of these oak savannas were wherever the land was flat, it was cleared. There's a big clear area that seems to be surrounded by oak savanna. I did read that there's somewhere along the trail here, there's an airstrip that's been abandoned and letting to grow wild. And I don't know if this is it, but it's certainly a long strip of land that goes way past these trees in the front of us. Maybe that's it. Here's a better view of that little lake that I saw before. Guess it's not that much better, but there it is. So that's the end of the open plain, and here we go back into the woods, I guess. Looks like a more dense wood than we were in before. Well, there are a lot of cherry trees in this area. This kind of shaggy barked tree is all black cherry. Here's a beauty here. I don't know what it's got growing up on it. It might be poison ivy. Very pleasant in the woods here. This must be that long boardwalk over sensitive terrain, because it looks like it's going to be a long one. It kind of feels like we're in kind of a boggish area here. You can see they even have rails on the boardwalk up ahead here. So that means it's more of a fall from the boardwalk into the down to the bog. Or they just don't want you jumping into this, because I read that if you step on some of this stuff, it kind of kills it, so they're trying to protect it. But looks like more open plain ahead. So this purple flower that seems to be abundant in this prairie, so you can get a close-up of it. Is called a fringed gentian. Looks like we go left here. Hey, what's that? Let's go take a look. Certainly an old building. I don't know what the history of it is, but I guess it's part of the park or something here. Kind of a shelter. Got a nice bench in there. And it says Ice Age Trail. I guess there's a logbook that I can check out. I think I'll do that. I guess it's just trail magic for any thru hikers that decide to stop here. Got some firewood. No stove in here anymore. But I suppose you could have a little fire out there if you wanted. Huh. Interesting. Cute little cabin. Got another road crossing here. I think this might be Cemetery Road that I rode in on. So it goes up to DL up there. You can see cars way over there on DL. Okay, back into the prairie. Kind of thick in here. Well, I came this way from that road back there, and looks like I'm leaving the prairie and heading back into the woods. Nice mix of cover types on this segment of trail. Looks like it's nicely maintained in here. I'm guessing this is either new trail or newly renovated trail, because you can see how they've kind of chipped away at the edge there, and looks like all fresh dirt going through here. Maybe the trail used to go down there or something, I don't know. Who knows, but it's a beautiful trail now. Well, it kind of opened up underneath the trees here. You can see quite a ways in the woods and a lot of ground cover. Looks like a lot of raspberries or blackberries or something. So maybe kind of an older growth part of the forest. Here's something I don't like to see, and that's a big old buckthorn. They really kind of take over. It's another big one right over there. So there's probably a lot of little buckthorns in here too. Well, here's an interesting tree. This little one here. Looking at the leaves, it's a red mulberry, which is a native plant and kind of what I think is a cool tree. Well, and just down from the mulberry tree, this tree with a blaze on it is a shagbark hickory. As you can see by the bark, it's kind of shaggy. Well, we're going to head back into the open field on the edge of the woods, right past this monster of a red oak. What a beautiful tree. That's got to be 3.5 feet wide, 4 feet maybe even. Man, that's a big tree. So I got to thinking about that one plaque I saw quite a ways back that said at one time there was a 1/4 mile of ice above that spot. Well, how big is that? 1/4 mile, I think, is 1,320 feet. So that would be, and I'm just short of 6 feet tall, so that would be like 25 of me standing on my shoulders tall. That's how thick the ice was. Pretty thick. Hard to even imagine. But that's what happened. And here's where it was, right out here. So that was the end of the glacier, because the glacier didn't make it past Devil's Lake. That's the end of the trail part of this segment. Now I got a 2-mile walk, road walk down to the ferry. It's going to be a pretty easy road to walk on. Hardly any traffic and pleasant surroundings. All right, I'm on Cemetery Road, so it won't be long now. Until I get down to the ferry, that is. I see a river up ahead. So the Merrimac segment is very unique because when you get down here to Merrimac, you walk onto the ferry, and as you connect your footsteps from one end of the ferry to the other, you get to the other side of the river and step off, and you cross the river without getting wet. So that's pretty cool. Looking forward to the ride. Part about this is they've got public restrooms on both sides of the river. Good for hikers. Yeah, they have ice cream shops on both sides too, but I think they're only open in the warm season. I made it onto the ferry. You can hardly tell we're moving, but we can tell. There's Merrimac over there. And I read that it takes 7 minutes for the ferry to cross. It's run by cables underneath the water. There's a boater. Not too many people on the ferry today on a weekday. On this other side over there, somewhere up there, is Gibraltar Rock. That's the next segment after this. So if it only takes 7 minutes to get from one side to the other, and then they have to unload and load, I'm guessing if you just miss the ferry, you'll have to wait less than half an hour, maybe less than 25 minutes to get a ride. That's pretty quick. You can see the cable down there. Connected my footsteps back onto dry land. Well, that's all I have for today. Thanks for coming along. Have fun out there, be safe, and keep on hiking. Bye now.